We have had 4 different guardian breeds. Bryson the Bandog, Riley the Rottweiler, we even fostered a German Shepherd, Nero, and now we have Maiko the Doberman. So I wanted to talk about what each of them are like, their personalities, embarrassing stories, their strengths and their weaknesses. So first we'll start with Bryson. Bryson is our Bandog. He was our first, and when we got him, he was just so unbelievably loyal and easy as a puppy, as a young puppy. When he needed the toilet, you would put him in the shower, he would go to the toilet. It was just so simple with him. He would follow you everywhere. You didn't need to put a leash on him. He was just the cutest thing. Oh, I could do that a million times over. Rilo as a puppy was incredibly hard work. He was restless, he was relentless. You would take him out to the toilet, he would just be wandering for 30 minutes until you had had enough. You were sleep deprived and just stressed out your mind. He'd be waking you up, shaking in the early hours of the morning. There would be his porcupine fur everywhere. He would be licking himself. He was a pain in the butt. Rilo was lovable in a completely different way. Bryson was just very loyal to his person. To me really, to be honest. We had such an amazing bond, still to this day. Come here, Brycey Bear. Come on. Yeah, me and Bryson, just the bond is just unreal. From the first moment I held him, there was a connection, wasn't there, Bryce? Rilo, no, there's a video on my YouTube saying about how much of a pain in the butt Rilo was basically, and how Bryson was my soul dog, and I just gritted my teeth with Rilo. But saying that, it got better. So Nero, we fostered Nero because of his family couldn't cope with him. He was very young when we were looking after him, when we started fostering him, because if he was biting the owner, he was biting the kids. He needed a strong owner, he needed somebody to take charge, just to guide him with confidence. German Shepherds are incredibly confident. Yeah. He found a family that were well off and really loved him, but they struggled with him when they first got him. They thought that he went through some traumatic past, which is why he was the way that he was. But from everything that we knew, he was just loved, but he was just with the wrong family. But they started to understand how to deal with him, and that it's most likely that he was just going through his fear period. He needed a strong leader. They love him, they still have him to this day. Yeah. And then there's Maiko. So we got Maiko, he was put up for adoption. It was sort of a time where we knew that we were committed to Thailand, so we could have another dog. I think it was a bit irrational, to be honest, getting Maiko. We don't know why he was put up for adoption. Apparently it was because of allergies, but I would be taking what's that thing called if you've got an allergy, those tablets. I'm not getting rid of this boy, not even Rilo, and he's a pain in my butt. Maiko did have some on-leash reactivity. She said that she didn't know how to handle that. He got attacked when he was younger, I guess, and yeah, he was just reactive on the leash. To me, this was so easy to manage. All it was just understanding how to manage a dog like that. She had all the equipment for him. She had prong collars and all of this stuff, but yeah, she just was in above her head. Bryson's most embarrassing story was when he was 2 months old. We were going to stay in this Airbnb. We were her first customers, and he had worms. It wasn't his fault, bless him. We were very young, we didn't understand about worms, and he diarrheaed over the whole entire house basically. That's what it felt like. It was so bad that my husband managed to clog the toilet, clog the drain. We had to go out at about 3 in the morning to try and find a plunger. We didn't manage to find one, but so we had a big day the next day, and we were just sorting out Bryson's poo. We had to put all of these brand new white sheets in the washing machine, and we told the lady everything was okay. But yeah, I think that has to be Bryson's top most embarrassing story. But then something that's a bit different about his behaviour, which is obviously more linked with Bandog Bryson. So we went to this island and we were sat at this Italian restaurant. My husband was holding Bryson, and a man ran towards us because his family were behind us, and my husband fell off the chair. The chair literally fell down whilst my husband was holding the leash. Maiko's embarrassing stories, bloody hell, where do we begin? I think we all know how embarrassed I feel after everything that happened with Maiko and Rilo. I think Doberman, male Dobermans especially, are quite renowned to have male on male aggression, and God, I've never felt so, God, that defeated. That was hard work, so he had to be neutered because of that if we were going to keep him. We did actually try to find him a home, but yeah, because of the state of him and obviously everything that happened, it wasn't like people were jumping at the opportunity to adopt Maiko where we are, and everybody wanted him to be neutered before, if that were the case anyway, because of there's lots of people that wanting to breed him. Rilo's most embarrassing story. So we took these groms out. Me and my husband had a grom each. We had all 3 dogs. We might have had 4 actually, because we had our friend's dog Gabby, and there were cows. So we pulled in to this alleyway, and Nero, so this is Nero the German Shepherd, spotted a dog, decided to chase it into this really sweet man's front garden. Oh my God, I don't know whether it was his dog, but oh my God, the embarrassment. I was like, oh my God, can I go get him? And Rilo hesitated about this. Rilo was like, should I follow him? You can see the hesitation, and he just thinks, oh, let's go. But Nero, no hesitation, he just ran. That is the most embarrassing story, and I had to get them out there. So I want to talk about strengths and weaknesses. I think the thing with dogs, sometimes we put unrealistic expectations with them. So Bryson, he is an amazing protector. He's so loyal. I'm not making him sit next to me. I've not done any training about this. It's just his personality, but he's very protective. And this can be a lot if you're expecting him to behave like a golden retriever and just to accept new people and just be very relaxed and calm everywhere he goes. That's just not his personality. It's going to take a while for him to trust new people. You know, he is just a protector. But then you have Maiko the Doberman. Maiko looks very fierce. He looks intimidating. You can train him in protection work. I think he could have it in him, to be honest, but also he's very neutral. You can take him to restaurants, to cafes, and he's just chill. He's a chill dog. He's not going to get spooked by random things. He's easy. When we first got Maiko, the first time we ever met him, we've never met him before, we never met his owner, and we just walked in the middle of the night in Pattaya, 2 strange people, and he just wanted to say hello. He just wanted to sniff us, and he was 1 year and 6 months at this time. That's very chill. You could not do that with Bryson, and I don't think you could even do that with Rilo. This is what Maiko's like when I'm sat down. So he is very loyal, but he's just also got a bundle of energy, and he wants to explore and just constantly be mentally stimulated. I feel like this can be very exhausting for some people, but he's a sweet boy. So I see why people call them Velcro dogs, but you have to be able to mentally and physically stimulate them every single day, which can be a lot in at Mike's. So Nero the German Shepherd, his original owners couldn't cope with him, and then his adopted owners obviously struggled with the fact that they felt like they were losing friends, the original owners, because of kids were being bitten by him, but they just didn't know how to control that. And I think if you understand the dog, the thing is, he said that he's had German Shepherds before. He's been attacked by 3 Rottweilers before. He had 3 Rottweiler dogs because he lived in South Africa, and he got, I don't know if it was South Africa. He lived somewhere and he got robbed in the middle of the night at gunpoint. So he got sold 3 Rottweilers and they nearly killed him. Somebody was around and luckily managed to save him. And then he fell in love with German Shepherds, and he had a young daughter, so he thought he would get a German Shepherd, and it was just biting everybody in the stomach, in the legs, arms, so they had to get rid of him. We never had that issue with him, but he was very, very confident. Yeah, he's just a confident dog. He chased a couple dogs a few times, so you have to be one step ahead of him, basically. Rilo is so over friendly, but as he's gotten older, he's a little bit less trusting of new people, so you're going to have to give him a couple seconds. Honestly, it doesn't take long at all. I would say just give him a minute just to relax. Don't try and be over friendly to him. He doesn't really feel as comfortable with you saying hello as he used to when he was younger. But apart from that, I would say Rilo is such an amazing guardian. He is strong, he's powerful, he's loyal, he'll follow you everywhere. He's a very sweet dog, but he's confident and likes to act big, do you know what I mean? He likes to stomp and he likes to make himself seen, like, don't mess with us. So who is the smartest? This is a really tough question because I feel like they're all smart in their own ways. Rilo is the easiest to teach things to, but he's the most stubborn. Bryson is the most emotionally intelligent. Maiko seems to pick things up and makes things look very stylish. Like, that's the best way I can describe it. He just looks good. He looks good when you ask him to do things. Nero was very confident and he needed a really strong, confident owner. So his trainability to somebody that knows what they're doing, he is fantastic dog, absolutely amazing dog. Energy levels. So the most energetic, of course, is the Doberman. Oh my goodness, he is basically a horse. You're going to need to mentally and physically stimulate him so much. I'm sure he'll chill out a bit as he gets a bit older. He's nearly 2, but he's a lot of work. He is a lot of work. Rilo is so chill, but Rilo can keep up with him. Rilo's our Rottweiler. Rilo can keep up with him, but he is just so much more relaxing. But it took a long time for Rilo to get to that point. He was such a pain when he was younger. I would say at about 2.5 he started to calm down. He's so happy with just relaxing in the aircon all day long until it's walk time. He's not just going to wake up to bark for nothing. He is only going to bark if something is serious and needs his attention. You know, he's not going to waste his time. Bryson's energy levels, he's a very alert dog. He's very similar to Maiko. He's very barky, constantly looking for potential intruders. But Bryson's energy for exercising, he could probably miss a day of exercising, to be honest. He's a lot more docile, but he does like to protect the house. But he just is a lot more slower pace, loves to swim. Nero the German Shepherd's energy, he was so playful. He absolutely loved Bryson and Rilo so much. He would love to chase and play with Rilo. I would say that his energy levels were quite similar to Rilo, our Rottweiler. He could chill out a lot more than Maiko. Grooming needs. So number 1, Bryson. Bryson doesn't really need too much, to be honest. He smells really nice. He doesn't need to be showered too much because of that. Yeah, so he's quite easy. You can just have him in the house and you're not going to feel like, oh God, the house is so messy. German Shepherds are renowned for molting, but I honestly think they are nothing on the Rottweiler. The Rottweiler's fur, oh my God, Rilo, Jesus Christ. That dog can molt. I don't know how he's even got any hair left on him. Obviously we live in a hot country, so that could be a big part of that. But their hair falls off very differently. The German Shepherd's hair, they fall off in like clumps. So yeah, they're very similar like that. Rilo can smell quite easily. He's going to need a shower at least once a week if you want him to smell okay, nice. Maiko the Doberman, his grooming needs are very similar to Bryson, but because of he's got, look at him, he's just rolled in the dirt because of he's just got energy for days, so he's always going to be up to something. Because of where we live in Thailand, he can just get dusty a lot easier. When the fur is wet, just make sure you give it a towel, clean it with a towel. You don't want to overwash your dogs. I think the most important thing to remember if you have these sort of dogs, depending on what sort of lifestyle you have, if you have like a massive piece of land like Rye enclosed, it's going to be pretty chill, to be honest, for you. As long as you've got your dogs under control and they are happy around each other, not fighting, you can look after them, you can take them to the vet, it's going to be a breeze. But if you're somebody similar to me and my husband who are very young and still figuring lots out in life, don't have a massive garden space and has to take them out all the time, it's going to get a lot more tiring and you're going to have a lot more experiences, embarrassing moments, tiring moments. It's not going to be perfect, and I think that's just something that you've got to sort of embrace, especially where we live, where there's dogs, scooters, kids, there's all sorts of things. So every single day is going to be a training day in our situation. You just have to roll with it, be responsible, be what's that word called for other people? You want to be considerate about the people around you, make sure everybody else feels comfortable. I think recently, to be honest, I've been failing with that one a little bit, just because of Maiko has been running ahead recently, and I think somebody might have been going to the toilet in the forest. I don't know, I called him back and he came straight back, but I heard somebody like go make a noise and Maiko barked twice. I called him back and it was fine. I went to actually go see, I guess this was embarrassing as well, I went to go see if somebody was there. I wanted to apologise, so I walked the loop around, so if they were going to the toilet or something. I don't know what was going on. I just wanted, if they were there and they weren't going to the toilet, I wanted to apologise, but I couldn't see anybody there. But yeah, life with big dogs is just, I'm mentally burnt out at the minute, I'll tell you that. 3 was, I feel like that lady from Bridesmaids when she took all of those party favour dogs and she had like 11 golden retrievers or Labradors. Yeah, just feel a bit tired right now, but I love them all. The thing is, they all just have their strengths and weaknesses. The easiest dog for me would be Bryson. He's just chilled out. He's just fits our lifestyle. Rilo is the second easiest because of he's just chill as well. You can just leave him for the day and he just will chill out and sleep. He's just will happily be sleeping and then he's good on his walk. Maiko is the youngest, so I'm sure things will get easier with him, but right now, oh my god, my patience is here with him sometimes. I love him so much and he's just doing so well. And Nero, we really thought the world of Nero, the German Shepherd. We would have loved to keep him. If the adoption fell through, that was what we said. If the adoption falls through, he's ours, but we've got to at least try. And they loved him.